Can you explain what's outstanding right now? And I mean, the latest that we saw was that Katie Hobbs on the governor's race was slightly in the lead by about 12,000, but that there was still more than a third of the vote outstanding, so that Kari Lake could definitely overtake her. Is that still the latest? And where is the vote outstanding? From what county?
We have votes outstanding from all over the state. I mean, Maricopa County makes up a little more than 60% of the state's population. So that's going to be where most of those votes are from. I don't think we have information yet from all of the counties. Maricopa, I think we have, they said this morning that they have a little over 400,000 votes left. That includes 275,000 votes or so that were dropped off yesterday, as opposed to, election day votes, stuff like that. So we have a pretty sizable chunk. We don't have exact numbers yet, but yeah, Katie Hobbs's lead is a little under 12,000 right now. Mark Kelly leading by almost 90,000 right now. The Secretary of State's race, Democrat Adrian Fontes is leading. Mark Finchem, who's very well known as a very prominent Trump supporter and election denier, also by about 84,000 votes. So these outstanding ballots are really going to decide some of these races.
So that does mean there was ticket splitting then. If you're going in there, you're not voting Republican down the line or Dem down the line. If Kari Lake has such a slim margin between her and Katie Hobbs, and the Senate race has the Democrat significantly ahead.
Sure, we've got Katie Hobbs and the governor's race with Hobbs and Lake. We have a similar scenario down in the attorney general's race, in this race for state school superintendent, where you have either slight leads for the Democrats or slight leads for the Republicans. So it definitely looks like you have some Republicans or some folks voting for Mark Kelly and Adrian Fontes on the Dem side, while voting Republican further in other races.
Mm-hmm. This is what confuses me about the election denial thing, because if that's your thing, if you're like, I'm not voting for anybody who doesn't accept the results of the 2020 election, you don't split between, Kari Lake at the governor's level, and then when you go over to the Senate, you say, well, Blake Masters, that's a bridge too far. She doesn't admit that Trump lost the election either, right? So it's like, I don't know if we're reading the splitting of the tickets correctly, or even the election denial objections correctly.
Well, each of these races has its own dynamics. I mean, in the governor's race, there are, I think, probably a lot of, maybe center-right voters who were not particularly thrilled with Kari Lake, but also probably with Katie Hobbs as well, who did not make a super compelling argument to folks for why they should vote for her outside of, well, I'm not Kari Lake. And obviously she got a lot of press for refusing to debate Kari Lake over the last few weeks, which I think turned off a lot of voters. And whereas a lot of voters do have some issues with Lake, there's also a lot of enthusiasm behind her campaign. And we'll see exactly how much, because I think out of these outstanding ballots that are left, they're pretty widely expected to break in the Republicans' favor. So any statewide Democrat who has a small lead, like Katie Hobbs, very well may see that go away today and over the next couple of days.
Do we feel the same about the Senate race between Kelly and Masters?
Kelly's lead is a bit more sizable than Hobbs. He's up by almost 90,000 votes. I think there's a lot of expectation out there that he will probably hold on once everything's counted. But it's hard to say, because so many of these votes are the ballots that get dropped, early ballots get dropped off on election day. Historically, those have always favored Democrats. In 2018, we saw a bunch of Democrats. Traditionally, that changed 2 years ago. In 2018, we saw a lot of Democrats statewide, including Katie Hobbs, who were losing on election night, come back to win over the coming days because of those ballots. 2 years ago, because so many Republicans became distrustful of the early voting system, you started seeing a lot of them, people who would normally mail in their ballots, walk them in on election day. And so that completely flipped that trend. And we saw, the opposite. Republicans who were losing on election night or trailing big, gained tons of votes in the days after the election. It's where, President Trump was, losing by, I think, something like 100,000 votes here on election night. He only lost by about 10,500 when it was all said and done. So it's hard to say. We have a lot more early ballot drop-offs on election day this year than we had 2 years ago. And I'm not sure exactly what's driving that, or who all those voters are yet. So we'll have to see. I think the general expectation is that trend will hold and those ballots will favor Republicans, but there's a lot up in the air right now.
Like many people, I am eating healthier these days, and that is why I love good olive oil. It's a treat, and you need it, so why not get the best? And by good olive oil, the best, I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and the healthiest nutrients when it's fresh from the farm. But that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They're not right from the farm. They can sit on the shelf for many months growing stale. That's why I like my olive oil direct from small, award-winning farms, thanks to a guy named TJ Robinson, also known as the olive oil hunter. When I first tasted TJ's Farm Fresh oils, I was like, this is going to be like a regular oil. What do you mean? What's the difference in olive? Wrong. That is when I realized how important fresh is. You, like me, you will fall in love with their vibrant, delicious flavors. They are delicious on salad, on veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his fresh-pressed olive oil club, TJ's willing to send you a full-size bottle, it's worth $39, of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils for just one little dollar to help him cover shipping. Best of all, there's never a commitment to buy anything. You can cancel your membership at any time. So you go and get your free $39 bottle for just $1 in shipping and taste the difference that freshness makes. Go to harvestfreshnow.com, harvestfreshnow.com for a free bottle and pay just that little itty bitty dollar in shipping. harvestfreshnow.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.